Welcome to Journeys with Jason George, episode 40, Underwater J Day, July. Lots of babies in the park. As I head into the park, I get excited, but nope, that wasn't an animal, that was just a biker. But while I grabbed breakfast at the waterfront, I noticed these beautiful baby magazers swimming by. Oh, I wonder how many people noticed them. But the real reason I came to Algonquin Park today was to visit Loon. Remember that baby loon that I watched hatch out of the egg the other day? And I shared in that video? Well, I'm now back and I brought my kayak so that I can maybe see her and her brother on the water. And I brought my GoPro. Maybe I can get some underwater footage. Unfortunately, I don't get any underwater footage of Looney or Toonie. But I did get some awesome underwater footage at the end of this video. Make sure you stick around for that. Then, I grab my camera and I'm ready to go. Down the walkway I head, and I hope that the loons are there and that they are putting on a show for me. And, well, not gonna lie, as I put my kayak in the water, I see a parent just splashing around. I quickly jump into my kayak and watch this cool moment. It's pretty hot today, so I'm assuming that this is what loons do as a way to kind of cool themselves down and get water in and among their feathers and down to their body. Because I feel that they're fairly insulated or water repellent when they're swimming. But I leave mom or dad alone and I head to the nest because I'm really interested in the way that it's built and what's still left of the nest. And I get right up close with it, and wow, it's actually pretty big and it's a little bit elevated, and yep, there's no shell, so there's definitely got to be two loons that have been born. And wait, there it is. There they are. Do you see them? There's Looney and her brother Toonie. Yep, they're both hanging out with, who knows, maybe mom or dad. And let's go see them. As I get closer, I can listen and hear them, and it's such a cool experience getting to having watched these loons be born, or at least one of them. Now getting to see them be almost a month old, if I'm not mistaken. It's a pretty cool thing, and it's just awesome to watch them grow and just be loons. And mom starts swimming around and calling to them, and I think it's training time, because mom would be chill and then start chirping and they would start diving in the water. And wow, I think they're learning how to dive and go deep in the water, or maybe even fish or hunt. I guess it's fishing for them. But this was so cool, and I love listening to the loon call. And what a big stretch. That must be Looney showing off for the camera. She's so crazy. Well, I am honestly just in awe of this experience and getting to hang out with them. And I do wish I got to see Looney and Toonie when they were a little bit smaller, but unfortunately it's tough to get up to Algonquin Park all the time. But if you are enjoying this video, please like, subscribe, share, and maybe even check out some of my other videos. And mom is now changing her pattern in how she's singing. Something different's about to happen. Oh, she's gone. Oh, there she is. You can learn a lot just from sitting back and listening to the animals around you. I've started to really appreciate that when I've been out in the bush taking photos and videos of the animals recently, is if you just sit back and watch them, you'll actually learn quite a bit about them. You just let them be. There's no need to do anything or stress them out. Just let them be animals, and they'll put on an awesome show, and they'll just wow you. I know that every time I get to hang out with an animal, I end up seeing something cool. Well, have you ever seen a baby loon? Well, these loons are, again, they're a month old and they're starting to get a little bit of color. They'll probably head out in the next little bit. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can get back up and visit them before they leave this pond. Or lake. It's not a very big lake. But honestly, it's been a very cool experience hanging out with the loons today. And I hope that somehow one day I maybe see them as they're older. To be honest, I'm probably going to call every loon a loony from now on and pretend that it's the loon that I watched get hatched. But it's awesome the way that they just glide through the water. And I know with the wind blowing, it probably makes it look like it's moving quicker. But the way and ease that they move through the water, it's not a shock that you very rarely see them fly. Whenever I've ever seen a loon, except for maybe once or twice, they've always been swimming because they make it look so easy. Have you ever seen a loon fly? Well, I know that this one won't fly because the babies are here, but I was really hoping that I'd actually get to see them feeding, and it's not happening, but I really want to go and enjoy the park and see what else is out there. I know I could probably sit here all day and enjoy the loons doing what they're doing, but there's so much else that the park has to offer that I feel it's probably time for me to leave them. And I say bye and off I go. And I wish Looney and Toonie a great day. And just as I look back, they start doing that low head thing that the loons do when they're sort of mating, or that I noticed when they would hang out in those groups of like 30. So I sort of want to stay a little bit longer, but no, there's so much else that I could see, and well, there's only so many hours in a day too. So I head back to the car and I pack up my kayak and get ready for the next animal or adventure that I see. I notice some movement in the grass, and then I actually notice some movement in the water, and wait a second, is this the beaver that dropped the tree branch on me? I think it is. If you haven't watched that video, that's pretty funny. I actually have to run as a tree branch is falling and the branches actually hit my hair. Oh, it was a slightly scary experience, but it was an amazing thing watching how quickly the beaver could actually gnaw through a tree. It's actually quicker than I could probably saw through the tree. Actually, no doubt, definitely quicker. But this beaver isn't cutting down trees, it's actually grabbing mud and roots from the bottom of the pond and fixing the dam that it's built. Remember how that saying they have, busy as a beaver? Well, this is probably why, because this beaver is working pretty hard and it probably doesn't have to stop working. It's just going to keep going and going. And look at it. Look at how much it's actually moving and carrying each time. I don't know, that's pretty impressive to me. And back at it. Ever since my ditch beaver experience, I've become so intrigued and interested in beavers. The way they move, the way they do things. it's actually a very cool animal, and they're very methodical or planned. They seem to know exactly what they want, and I love to just sit back and watch them. I know that I'm actually looking for moose on this trip, but watching the beaver build this lodge is actually pretty cool, or dam, I should say. And if you look closely in the water, you can actually see it picking up the dirt and slowly moving it, and yep, pops up. This beaver's all over the place. I wonder how much a beaver can actually carry to the lodge or the dam to actually put on this mount. Like, how quickly can it build this dam? Or how quickly can it repair this dam? If anybody knows any of these answers, I'd love for you to leave that in my comment section of this. So I leave the beaver and I head off to see some loons, and I think these loons actually might have been the family that had the egg that was attacked by the raven, and they're missing their baby, and I think they feel pretty sad. And oh my goodness, there's a loon flying. Oh, that was cool, sitting in my kayak as that happened. And then I left the water and I noticed this turkey hanging out, and then I stopped at that one spot I always stop at, and I paid a little bit of respect, and there was a storm that was blowing in. Did you see how much the trees were moving? And after I paid a little bit of respect, there was a big rainfall and everything was clear. And then I saw Mama Bear and a baby bear. And then I saw a moose. Yep. And we all know that this is a male moose because we can see the antlers. And you can tell that it's springtime because they're covered in velvet. And this one is probably going to be a big buck. Well, I don't know by that, but look at the color of the coat. This looks like a very healthy, strong male. Yeah. He is no concern to me. He's just gonna have a drink. And look at the shine. Yep, I am talking about you. You're beautiful. Yep. I was recently told that the moose's teeth actually will filtrate the water as it pushes it through their teeth or in their jaws. Does anyone know if this is actually true? Because if it is, that's really cool. Their teeth are a filtration system? Wow. There's so much about animals that we don't know. And I'd love to learn more. That's part of why I like chasing and trying to find animals and learning more about each animal. Oh, someone just showed up, and this moose is no longer happy. You can definitely sense the attitude change in this moose. Yep. As soon as this person showed up, they are not having anything to do with it. It's funny how animals can pick up on people's energy. Well, I guess I'll have to say goodbye for now. Thank you for hanging out with me for a little bit, Mr. Moose, and have a good day. Oh, what's that on your bum? Wow, are those deer flies? Holy, wait, where did it go? Wow, just a few trees and it's gone? No wonder you can't see a moose sometimes. And here are some turkeys. And have you ever wondered what animals talk about? Well, to me it's like, hey, yo, I met Frankie the other day and he learned this little game. It's called chicken. Do you want to play it? Oh, how do you play it? Sounds kind of fun. Well, so you find a road and you walk up to it, and then you walk across it. Oh, that doesn't sound very smart. I'm going to stay here. Well, whoa, you are a daredevil. Watch out for those cars if you're going to scratch yourself in the middle of the road. that doesn't sound very safe. See, the smart animals stay off the road, like this grouse. But the reason it was staying off the road was actually its babies were hiding in the bushes. It seems like the road can be a very active place, which is why we often are told to be careful of our speed, especially in springtime, because there's baby animals, and you don't want to hit an animal, even if it's a small bird, let alone a big moose. It could even be a turtle, and I feel that that might do a little bit of damage to your alignment. I know a moose would do some damage, but just be careful when you're driving through the park. Maybe drive the speed limit. I waved this family down to see this animal that was in a distance so that they could enjoy. Can you see it there?
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at.
Cool.
So that's a big male moose. You ever seen a moose before?
Yes.
Nice.
Now what's your secret to finding all these great shots?
Be outside. There's no real secret.
Try to be observant.
But do you want to see, like, you want to actually see, like, it's going to look different in here than what you were seeing.
You want the secret to walk in?
I'm just going to grab my camera, okay, Mom?
Okay, be careful.
Does the little one want to see?
You want to see? I just want to wait
I know
until
she-
she's back across the road so I can watch. She has her camera that she wants to take the photos with.
As I recently have received my walking stick, I wanted to set it up and use it as the monopod. And, wow, it actually worked better than expected. And it had an extra advantage that I didn't even think about. There you go, buddy.
See him?
That's what we're looking at.
Isn't that cool?
Pretty cool, eh? Well, Rob, thank you for helping me create this stick, because now I can actually help to share observations and sightings of animals on site with people. That's pretty cool, and not worry about my camera being broken. But off I go to Canoe Lake to go for a kayak, right? I don't want a canoe, I prefer to kayak. But I see this cat at the side of the bank, and it wasn't a wild cat. But then, as I turned the bend, I saw this bird floating in the water, and it dove underwater just like it normally does when you see it. But luckily, this time I had my GoPro. Yep, I'm excited. This loon seems like it's just hanging out and it wants to play. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna hang out and watch this loon for a little bit and hopefully get some cool footage. The problem with underwater footage is you don't know how it's gonna look. You just have to hope and pray. You can sort of figure out some things and set them up, but there's a lot of luck to it. But this loon seemed to be enjoying this location, and we just hung out for a while together. And I got some pretty cool footage. And this might be some of my favorite footage. And, well, not gonna lie, there might be some other footage that I'm saving for this loon video I'm making next year. But this is pretty cool. Getting to watch the loon dive underwater, man. Although this video or trip to Algonquin isn't as epic as the last trip, this is pretty amazing. But that last trip set the bar pretty high. And did you just see that? It just pooped. That was a pretty big one. It is a painted turtle. I'm pretty sure it's a painted turtle. Or is it a red-eared slider? Well, I just like to see a turtle in the wild. They're pretty cool. And then I saw the great blue heron again, and I was explaining it to these people on the water that were from Germany, that this is a pretty cool bird. I was talking about the loons that we have here, and I asked if they had seen it. And all of a sudden, the loon appeared. And I was like, here it is. And then it was like, wait a second, let me grab my GoPro. So I grabbed my GoPro, and you can see the loons out in the distance. And as I'm getting set up, the loon just vanishes. As I put my camera underwater, and it actually sort of swims up to me. And then it swam towards the people that I was trying to explain it to. Oh, you gotta watch where you put your hand, because there's some scary things out there. I was hoping to find a go-home moose on my way home, but I found some go-home turkeys, and then I found this funny grouse that was just taking its time crossing the road. I saw quite a few animals cross the road today. Luckily, nobody got hit. I'm glad that people were at least cautious while I was in the park. Well, I hope that you enjoyed it, but I have to leave the park a little bit early because the weather, it seemed like it was going to change on me. And as I was about an hour away from home, it did. Until next time, stay safe, have fun, and enjoy the wildlife. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to check my social media for cool updates on my book.